What's up, comic book fans? Detroit Madman, and I am back with episode 7 of Madman's Comic Hauls. And check it out, we have moved into the early Bronze Age and Silver Age comics. We're going to do all DC today, and finally get to do some of these books that I picked up last weekend that I'm so stoked about. So first off, we're going to jump right in. This is House of Secrets number 116. It's from February 1974. And again, I showed something in my last video about these supernatural early 70s covers, and I really like them. Condition on this one is awesome. I love the ghost story books. I love the horror books when they get the covers right, and this one they definitely did. The artwork is by a guy named Louis Dominguez. I don't know who that is. I'm not familiar with that guy. Alright, next up, we've got Jimmy Olsen, number 92. It's from April of 66. That's a Curt Swan cover. And I thought it was cool with the Batman being held over the head and Superman getting kicked. This is the only appearance of an agency called SCAR, and it's the Society for Conquest and Ruin. And Curt Swan just does an amazing job on these covers. Now, the condition on this one is fairly lower, mid-grade, but I thought the yellow in that background really popped, so I picked that one up. This one here is another Jimmy Olsen book. It's issue number 112. Actually, I'm sorry, it's issue number 115. And this one is from October 68. Got that classic Neil Adams cover. Superman's in the desert, dangling a pitcher of ice water over Aquaman. Featuring Olsen and Aquaman in Survival of the Fittest. Great condition book. I love that orange background. It's not as bright, probably. I don't know if that was meant to be a darker cover or whatever, due to the foreground with the sun in the background. But it's alright. Looks really good. Has eye appeal. Now we've got Jimmy Olsen number 112. And this one caught my eye, obviously, because Superman's being buried alive in some kind of tomb. And this one's from July 68. Another classic Neil Adams cover. Just does Superman so well. And yeah, so Superman's in peril. You got just this crazy scene depicted there. So that one's pretty cool. Now this one really caught my eye. As soon as I pulled this one out and he showed me it, it's Jimmy Olsen number 142. It's October 71, and that's a Jack Kirby cover. Kirby also did the story in this one. And it's, you know, back to the supernatural, vampire, early 70s, late 60s, all that stuff that is classic Kirby going on here. Look at that scene right there. That's just awesome. Condition on this book's good. The spine, I notice on these DC books, kind of on the bigger books at least, looks like it doesn't lay as flat as it should, but it's not too bad. And but one thing I don't like about this book is I don't think he did the face on the vampire very good. And but hey, it's a Kirby cover. Looks good. I love that little monster guy. Always love those little Kirby monsters. Alright, the next up here, this was an interesting cover. This one really popped out at me. This one here is Detective Comics number 316. It's from June of 63, and that's a Sheldon Moldoff cover. And this one has an awesome story, too. The artwork in this comic is absolutely amazing. It has multiple pages of the Batmobile and this little Batcopter. It's like a little one-seat Batcopter. And I love the little electricity bolts. And this Batman here is like a see-through Batman or something, and he's all in the story with these guys with just the outlines. So I didn't actually read it. I leafed through it and looked at all the panels, and it was pretty amazing. The condition on this one's fairly low or mid-grade. It does have some chipping up at the top. The pages are browning on the inside, but overall it looks great. I mean, eye appeal on that book is awesome. We got another detective comics up next, and this one here is Detective 356. It's from October of 1966, and it features the first appearance of the Outsider, and it's Carmine Infantino art, and I don't know what's going on with Robin there, but Batman's just coming in with the big blow. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like it's affected the villain at all. So I like that action cover. Somebody wrote their initials in pencil or pen up there at the top, but outside of that, it's pretty cool condition. This is a nice condition book. This one here is Action Comics 351 from June 1967. It's the first appearance of Java. Just some like Herculean guy with wings on his feet. But another action cover. I like these action covers, and that's a Kurt Swan cover. Condition on this one's really good. All those checkerboards up at the top are intact. Spine's nice. Just got those little dings. Been folded up a couple times. One little crease at the bottom. Just more of a line, not a crease. But I was happy with that one. Next up, this one caught my eye. Superman shooting a death ray out of his chest. It's a Kurt Swan cover. It's Superman number 203 from Jan 68. And it says here that Superman's trying to kill all his friends with the death ray. But yeah, he's getting a neck shot on the girl there. It's okay. The you know, again, this is like a mid-grade book, but I like that one. This one caught my eye as well. Immediately when I pulled this one out, I saw that it was a throwback to King Kong, and this one actually here is Superman number, what does that say, 226. And it's from May of 1970. It's a 15 center, and as you can see, it's obviously when Superman became King Kong. It's got that classic King Kong-like on the top of the Empire State Building. Aircraft coming in. He's giant, and he's got someone in his hand there. It says, "Red kryptonite has turned Superman into a human King Kong. Now he's reliving the giant ape's last stand." How cool is that? This book here caught my eye because it really looked like a throwback to like a Golden Age scene. And I'm not 100% sure if it's actual swipe with a cover that existed. It does look familiar to me. So, and I've seen a lot of this old Golden Age Superman cover, so that might be the case, but this is issue number 181. It's from November of 1965. It's got a Kurt Swan cover, and I just love that classic Superman face right there in that pose. Just screams, you know, vintage Superman. Really nice condition book. If it wasn't, it just has that little piece of tape or something on it, but outside of that, it looks like a newer book. That's how nice it is. Now this book, not so nice. This book is tore up all to hell. Someone taped the hell out of it on the side, and it wasn't even good tape. I mean, the tape definitely hasn't stood the test of time. But it's World's Finest number 134. It's a June 63 book, and that's a Jim Mooney cover. But I love the action on it. Again, you got this Human Torch-looking electricity guy shooting bolts. I love those little electricity bolts, man. And then Superman taking the brunt of all this action going on here. And you got Robin on the ground as usual, always in some kind of peril. Batman, I don't know if he's shielding him or just caught off balance there. But I love the little monster guys. And just the condition on this book. I mean, I got it so cheap, it didn't really matter what the condition was. The story and the cover on back, everything's intact. It's just got that stupid tape on it. I don't know if you can see that. but I should look forward to get into that book. Next up, I've got World's Finest. This is issue 195. It's August 1970, and it's another Kurt Swan cover. But I thought it was interesting because you had Batman with like that Thompson submachine gun, and you got Jimmy Olsen and Robin digging their own graves for whatever reason. Superman's just taunting them, you know, hurry up. That was a cool looking book. I had to get that one. Decent condition. Next up, we've got World's Finest, number 195. It's from August of 1970. Another Kurt Swan cover. And again, I just love these little electricity bolts and science experiment type covers. This one looks really good. The cover is white for the most part. As you can see from the backing board there, it doesn't really have much dull or browning on the white at all. But it's featuring Superman and Batman in the Doomed Boy Heroes. Like I said, Superman's running some kind of experiment here, and Batman's trying to talk him out of it. But I don't know what else is going on in there. This was an interesting cover to me because it had Batman in a purple suit. It had Superman with a green S, but these are actually not Batman and Superman. Batman and Superman are here, and this is someone called the Revenge Squad, and it's Superman X or something like that, and Batman X. But the cover, you know, again, it struck me as being an interesting cover. It really stood out to me. It's from May 1968. It's a Neil Adams cover. Got these big gauntlets on here. Can't complain about the condition. I like the condition on the book. It shows real well. Definitely looks good in the collection. And that purple Batman with the skull on it. How crazy is that? Next up, I've got the Atom. This is issue number 31 from July of 67. It's a Gil Kane cover. And this book has a little bit of condition issues. As you can see, it's got some lines down there in the corner. And up here, it's got, between the DC and the actual date, there's a little bit of wear. But the checkerboard across the top's in good shape. The color on this book's amazing. And check that out. Hawkman is shooting the Atom out of a slingshot. And Hawkman's face is just hilarious. But that's cool. I mean, that's the real reason I got that book. I got it for a good price. I couldn't complain about the price. It was definitely very inexpensive. Now, this book right here, it's the first, I think it's the first time I've owned a Dead Man book. It's Strange Adventures number 214 from October 68. Awesome Neil Adams cover. Lots of action. I don't know if you can see it. The glitter's going to be bad on these type of bags. Got the damsel in distress, the car gunning for her, and this Dead Man character flipping over. So a lot of action going on here. I really like that. The condition on this book, outside of this one little tiny corner right there where the page folded over and nicked, this book is phenomenal condition. And I was happy to get that one. And this one I thought was a little bit of an iconic cover to me. Not that it's like a super classic cover or anything, but I love the fact that Superman and Clark Kent are on the cover at the same time. I thought that was pretty cool. It's Superman 209 from August of 68. It's a Ross Andrew cover, and this is a super nice high condition book. And I said, you know, I just got to get it. I like the way that they did that Clark Kent Superman. And you got the green Superman letters with the red blocks. It's pretty cool looking. And then it says, our timid, cowardly reporter becomes the Clark Kent monster. I like that one. Next up, I've got the Atom. This one here is issue 34 from January 1968. Gil Kane cover, and it's got Atom getting shot in the back. Really nice condition book. Pages look great inside. It does have a little ding up in the top corner there. know if it's going to focus. It's got the Atom getting shot in the back there. I really like that one. And then here's another Atom book, and you know, common sense tells me if you want to get rid of Atom, just stomp on him, right? He's so small. But this is Atom 38. It's from September 68, and that's a Mike Sikowski cover. And a real nice, decent mid-range book here. Mid-grade book. But I love the perspective. He's just getting stomped. And they got him tied up with something. Those must be some small ropes. 12 center. Next up, this is the Atom and Hawkman, number 43. I'm assuming that they picked Hawkman up at some point and just continued the numbering on. So, I believe this would be more along the lines of the same series, just added Hawkman to it. This one here, it's issue number 43, July 69, Joe Kubert cover. It's got features the Headless Horseman there, and you've got Hawkman all jacked up. He's in peril down there, left for dead. No Atom on the cover, but the condition on this book is awesome. It really looks like a new book, especially when you hold it, how supple it feels, and the paging on it. It's off-white pages, but they look super good. So I like that one. Now next up, I got a little bit of a run here I put together, and I was definitely interested in this series from some other videos I saw. So this one here is Aquaman number 38. It's a Nick Cardy cover, and this is in the late 60s. You know, this is 68, 69, 70. They had this run of just really artistic, awesome-looking Aquaman covers. And this one here is not in very good shape. It does have white pages, but the cover has some texture issues. It just doesn't, the cover doesn't lay flat. It has a little bubbling to it, or a little, where maybe it must have taken in some moisture at some part, or at some point in time, and so it doesn't lay flat. This is Aquaman number 40, and this one here is from August of 68. It's the first appearance of Mara Doppelganger. But the color on this is just awesome. It's those pastels, under the sea colors. I don't know if I've seen this specific book in a video yet of someone else, but it was real familiar when I saw this book, so I probably have. But yeah, that's awesome. I was happy to get that one. And then continuing on with the Aquaman run here. This one's issue 43 from February 69. Another decent mid-grade book, but the subject matter here is this giant silhouette outside the water standing over Aquaman. He's all bound up. I thought that was great. Condition on this book is it's okay. It's definitely has awesome eye appeal. Doesn't look like it's been trashed at all. So I just can't get the camera to focus on it. I'm sorry. Next up, another Aquaman, and this one here is issue number 53. It's a 15 center from October 70, and it's set in San Francisco with the Golden Gate Bridge and the Bay Area, and it says is California Sinking, and it's just an awesome high-grade book. The black is so black on this cover that it almost looks fake. It just almost doesn't even look real. How awesome the condition is on this book. Like you just printed it yesterday. So I was happy about that. And then Aquaman again, number 47. This one's from October 69, and another really high grade book. The scene on it's just crazy with that big monster. It says too late, Aquaman, too late. Just love these books, man. They did such a good job. And then Die My Love Die. This is issue number 39. This is from June 68. And as you can see, it's just got that dame on there. really curvy. And then Aquaman's just getting blown back, just super explosion. Color is amazing. And then they must have had the TV show going at this point, because it says the King of the Sea and TV. And last but not least, for the Aquaman run, and I've seen this in other people's videos and I was blown away by how awesome this looks in person, is issue number 42 from December 68. You got the Aquaman in the coral reef down below. And Is This My Foe? This does have a little nick by the staple there. Off-white pages. But outside of that, this thing really is amazing condition looking book. I love it. I was so happy when this one came down, and as I was looking through the stack that he had, I was hoping this one was in there, and it was. And then after I saw a few of the other ones that maybe were a little bit less conditioned, I came to this one and popped right out at me, and I loved it. So I was so happy to get this book. This was actually on a list of books I had to get. This is Flash number 207. And I really like the look of this one. It's a Neil Adams cover from June 71. It's got a little icon up here for Kid Flash. You can see that. And I love that monster cover on there. Although you got Flash looks like he's running in place, which is kind of weird. But you have the damsel in distress down there. It says the evil sound of music. Just awesome, awesome high-grade book. And next up, this one caught my eye. It's a Superboy number 160, October 69, Neil Adams cover. And you got Superboy with on the surface of the moon holding his head. And you got Earth in the background. So I thought this was a just awesome intergalactic type cover. And obviously tied in with the times of the moon landing, which wasn't too much before this. It's probably led to some of them doing themes like this. Really like that one. Condition's awesome on that book. Next up, I've got a Superman. This is issue number 195. It's from April 67. Kurt Swan cover. I just love the classic look of Supergirl and Krypto on this cover. You got Superman being detained by this kryptonite gas coming out of the floor, which I thought was pretty cool. Really nice condition book. Look at the checkerboard at the top. Looks just absolutely brand new. Really like that one. Now this one's interesting. It jumped right out at me the first place I was at on Free Comic Book Day, and I'm pulling books down off the wall. And this one, I said, I got to get this. I got to get this. And it wasn't too expensive. It was a decent price, but I love that Kirby cover on it and everything. And it's just a mid-grade book. Nothing special about it whatsoever. Definitely been read a few times and has some issues at the top, right? Get to the second place, and the guy's got like a 9.6 issue of Demon. So this is Demon number 3. It's from November 72. Obviously, Jack Kirby artwork and Jack Kirby cover, but look at this. This book right here is just, I had to get it. After seeing the first one, and then this one, just, the difference in condition is so striking. And that one looks great. I mean, if somebody handed that to you, you'd love that book. But then this one, you know, again, this looks like it rolled off the press yesterday. How amazing condition it is. Pages inside are so bone white in that book that they look Xerox. I mean, they look fake. That's how awesome it is. Next up, I've got Justice League of America. This is issue 56 from September 67. Carmine Infantino cover, and it's the Justice League versus the Justice Society. And I love these covers where you have two groups of guys going at it, and this perspective where they're rushing in at each other. It's been used a bunch of times, especially with DC, and I just had to have that one. Condition on this book, really good. Couple little nicks here and there, but outside of that, just a really, really nice looking book. Next up is a book I had to have once I saw it, and condition's not really that great on this book, but it's pretty funny. It's Batman issue 190 from March '67, and it's the Penguin just coming to Earth, or coming down on Batman and Robin. You got Robin laying on the ground at Batman's feet again, with a ton of different umbrellas filled with gas and knives and all kinds of stuff. So I thought that was hilarious. So I finally got a Penguin, nice Penguin cover from the old days. Condition on this isn't that great. There's actually, the white is kind of dingy. It's like a off-white, and it has a couple little splotches here and there. Overall, though, I'm super happy to have this. This corner down here is really soft. This is probably the worst part of the book, is that corner down there. Looks like it was banged around at some point. But totally stoked with that one. And then next up, I got this Wonder Woman book. Condition on this one is amazing. It's from October '71, and God, what can you say? Look at this cover. It's a bondage cover. It's issue 196. Her clothes are ripped apart. She's got a bullseye on her back, and she's chained up. You got a silhouette of a guy with a gun in the back. You got the guy with the gun pointed at her. As you can see, she got a bullseye on her back. Super high-grade book. Really, this book could be a 9.0 or greater, easily. Diana Prince is the Wonder Woman. And featuring the origin of the Wonder Woman in this book, and an old menace called the Cheetah. But I just thought that was a great cover. Alright, next up here I've got Flash number 188. It's a 12 center. And it's from May '69. It's a Ross Andrew cover. I just love the contrast with that green background and the red suit. Really high-grade book. Amazing condition. Everything's where it's supposed to be. I don't know if you can see the pages. It's got white pages. And it says, featuring the most colorful villain of all. But I thought that cover was awesome. Everything around me is green. Green, green, green. Why have all the other colors been taken out of the world? But that's an awesome cover. Next up, I've got Batman number 253. And how awesome is that? I saw this and I almost shit. Honestly, I couldn't believe the Shadow was on the cover pointing guns at Batman. It was amazing. This year's issue 253 from November of '73. Mike Kaluta is the artist. But look at that Shadow. How awesome is that? This book is really decent condition. It has one little tiny ding down in the corner down there. Outside of that, you might find a nick, maybe. That's how nice this book is. So, super stoked about that one. And then last but not least, this is the book that just jumped off the wall at me. And I saw this when I went and previewed the books on Thursday, trying to set up a game plan for the books I wanted on Saturday. And this was one of the top ones on my list. I was happy to get it. It's Batman 205 from September '68. It's an Irv Novick cover. And it's a story about a blind guy with these special glasses. They trick Batman into thinking he's blind, I think, and they're going to assassinate him or something. And just a real awkward story. Somehow Batman turns the tables and dresses up as the blind guy. And then at the end of this book, and I was just leafing through it, but at the end of this book, really politically incorrect, you got Batman, Robin, and Commissioner Gordon cracking jokes about blind people at the end of this book or something. So I thought it was an iconic type of cover that just doesn't look like anything else. You've got these bullets flying at the faces of the heroes. The condition on this is really good. There is a little bit of an issue in one of these corners with a couple little scratches. Which one? Oh, it's down here. I don't think you're going to be able to see it because of the glare. Outside of that, this book just pops off the shelf at you. So, at any rate, this is my Silver and Bronze Age DC haul from Free Comic Book Day. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you saw some books that are cool. And next up, we're doing Marvel, and I can't wait for that. Stay tuned for episode 8 because it's going to be amazing. As in, Amazing Spider-Man, maybe. All right, peace out. Detroit Madman saying, enjoy your comics, folks.